I saw the video on numerous occasions. And seeing what transpired from a lawful perspective, as it pertains to a law enforcement official, don't expect him to be prosecuted. He was completely justified. From a humanitarian perspective, however, why did you have to do that? And rather than get out the car, she wrongfully tried to drive off and wrongfully disregarded law enforcement official, which is exactly what ICE is. And as a result, lost her life.
Stephen A. Smith, ladies and gentlemen, justifying the shooting of Renee Good. A lot of people have been telling me in the comments section, no, Crank, look at the other angles. And when you see the other angles, I can't wait for you to retract your statement. Listen, it is millions of angles. There's millions of different camera footages. None of that matters. She should not have been shot in the face. Even if she was impeding their so-called bullshit ass investigations, because we've seen videos of them going all over, not just in Minnesota, all over this country, terrorizing people, breaking windows, going door to door, going up inside of people's houses, trying to go inside of people's houses, going into businesses to look for undocumented workers, locking up U.S. citizens. So if you want to sit here and play that game that they're doing a job or they're executing an investigation, like, that's bullshit. Let's just say they are, though. And let's say she is blocking them or impeding traffic or whatever the case may be. That's no reason for her to be shot. You understand what I'm saying? Y'all full of it.
From a legal perspective, don't expect this ICE officer to be prosecuted. I'm telling you right now. She was in the car, Renee Nicole Good, 37 years of age, protesting, blocking off the streets. ICE wanted her to move. An officer got in front of the car. Another officer got to the side of the car, and then she tried to take off. And in their eyes, the Christy Nomes of the world for the Department of Homeland Security, other folks on the right are saying, yo, they consider it an act of domestic terrorism because she tried to run over an ICE officer. It's not going to be prosecuted. My point is, let's not focus on that for a second, okay? She was wrong to drive off. She should not have done that. Should have got out of her car to prove that she was not going to be any harm, or she should have asked the officer, I'm pulling over, could you move out the way, please?
And see, little Bama-ass, smug-ass comments like that is the reason why Stephen A. Smith now is making videos like this.
Black people don't like me? I'm from Hollis, Queens, bro. I'm from the streets of New York City. I go to the streets of America everywhere, all over this country. I'm inside and outside arenas. I'm inside and outside local businesses and stuff like that. I'm the ambassador for HBCU Week in concert with Ashley Christopher and other people. I've helped generate over 12,000 scholarships in excess of $150 million for Black students. I'm a member of Omega Psi Phi fraternity. I ain't just down with a fraternity. That's a brotherhood. All of them are my boys. I was raised by 5 Black women, Joy. I have 9 nieces. I have 2 daughters. Everybody Black. I still go home to Hollis. On the business side, ESPN takes our show, First Take, to HBCUs. Packed gymnasiums wherever we go. Black people don't like me? You sure? Walt Disney and HBCUs, when we start going on tours every year. We've been to Delaware State. We've been to Bethune-Cookman. We've been to Norfolk State. We've been to Winston-Salem State. We've been to Savannah State. Oh, yeah. We're going to Texas Southern next month. We don't stop. And I said we. Because in concert with the very organization that I work for that you accused me of being paid by just to talk about white, just to talk nastiest things about Black people. What about what I celebrate?
Well, the thing is this, you very well have a track record of doing all of these things and working with all of these organizations, helping out HBCUs, supporting these Black colleges, going, all over the country doing these things. Salute to you for doing that, brother. Legendary career as a journalist and somebody who covers sports, definitely a voice in the world of sports of both NBA, NFL. You know, he knows his stuff and he's great at it. But here's the thing. You stepped out there and you joined the political spectrum. And that's fine. You are more than free to do that. And you're more than free to support whoever you want to support. But when you constantly get out there and not only are you supporting one side of the political spectrum that you know most of your people that you claim to be doing so much for is not with, not only are you doing that, but you have a history of always berating and criticizing Black people. But you don't do that same thing for white people. And it's not just Jasmine Crockette. It's not just Joy Reid. It's not just that. We're talking about even athletes. He does not have a history of holding the same criticism to certain white athletes when they do something wrong as he does Black athletes. So you've always been looked at as a raccoon. Me personally, I'm not saying that. I'm saying the public perception of what Stephen A. Smith is, who he is, and what he's done. So you can't sit here and act surprised because we're not stupid. We see you doing this. Now, maybe you do it and you don't realize you're doing it, but I think that you're smart enough and old enough and intelligent enough to understand exactly what you're doing. And you know how people look at it. But don't take my word for it. Let's hear from certain other Black influential people who can break it down even better than me.
This man might look like the villain from the next Batman movie, but in fact, he just talks about politics even though he knows nothing. Every time he opens his uninformed mouth, he says something dumb. I just don't understand why you feel a need to talk about politics when you can't be bothered to be basically informed. For some reason, he's on ABC News being interviewed. I don't know why. Of course, Lindsay Davis asked him about the many people, me included, who have said, hey, why is so much of your political commentary about attacking Black women? If I told you he responded by attacking a Black woman, you would say, stop it. That's too stupid.
Joy Reid and...
Let me say something about Joy Reid. Let's get this out of the way. I don't know this woman. I've met her one time. I shook her hand once. I've never spoken to her in my life.
So what?
And she's responding that way because when she got fired by MSNBC, her show got canceled. I spoke on it.
What?
And what I said was, she is a talent, highly intelligent woman. I respect her. The issue, however, is that if your numbers drop 47% and you are Black, in this culture that we're living in, did you really expect something else to happen? Of course they were going to do that to you.
What?
Why is it that many Black women have had this criticism on Stephen A. Smith?
Who are the many? Because
He speaks in such a Trumpy way. She criticized me, so I'm going to hit her back about her ratings. Joy doesn't care about anything you said about her show. She's not getting you back. We're not in the fucking playground. She's like, why is he out here criticizing Kamala Harris, Jasmine Crockette, Joy Reid? Do you notice a pattern? Ratings got nothing to do with it, bro. Answer the question.
You don't have the same smoke for the right that you do for anybody Black. You got a lot of smoke for LeBron and Jamel Hill and Carrie Champion and Jasmine Crockette. You got a lot of smoke for Black folks. But when it comes to Charlie Kirk...
We saw Charlie Kirk catch 8 receptions for 144 yards.
Yeah.
We saw
Christian Kirk. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Who applauded the killing of Trayvon Martin and said we can handle some more gun murders if we can have more Second Amendment. Donald Trump, who is terrorizing Black and brown communities, you have no smoke for them. You've been criticizing the right the way you've been attacking people on the other side. I need to see those clips because when I tell you I've spent all day, Jason can tell you, just editing clips of you. And Stephen, I just didn't find the same smoke for the pro-fascist side, the pro-racist side, the anti-diversity side, as I found attacks by you, Stephen, against anybody Black who has a prominent platform. Riley's and the Chris Cuomo's of the world and the Newsmaxes sucking up to them for favor from the regime, while people who you actually could have used your platform to stand up for, people like the people Colin Kaepernick stood up for and threw away his literal career to stand up for, while those people are destroyed. And I promise you, Stephen, I promise you, when the unspicy whites are done with you, and eventually they will be done with you, you may not have a home in Black America to come home to.
You got music, you got a business, you got a product or service, but you're not making enough money off of it because you don't have enough exposure. DM or email me right now to get promoted on my platforms. I have 850,000 subscribers on YouTube. I have 460,000 followers on Instagram. I have the following that you want to get seen in front of. I was able to increase the sales of this Amazon book off of a YouTube sponsorship with just 30,000 views. And I was able to give this artist 15,000 views with the Instagram repost in less than 24 hours. So DM or email me at bookingcranklucas@gmail.com right now to get more exposure and more money for your business.